National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today, from Cleveland Stadium, it's the AFC Divisional Playoff. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Cleveland Browns. Brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by the Kellogg Company, maker of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony's Flakes of Corn with a sweet frosting. Eric Dickerson leads underdog Indianapolis into Cleveland. Some call Dickerson a fumbler, but the record shows he is above all a winner. 5 years in the NFL, he's been the lead player on 5 divisional playoff teams. The Browns' offense centers around the AFC's top-rated passer, Bernie Kosar. Just 24 years old and 3 years in the NFL, he has quarterbacked 3 divisional championship teams. Snow, ice, and cold in Cleveland, Ohio, and despite it all, 80,000 will pack Cleveland Stadium for this divisional playoff.
I'm Bob Costas here in the studio with us, Gail Gardner and Coach Don Shula. You'll hear from them shortly, but first of all, let's go right to the scene, to Cleveland, to get reports from Ahmad Rashad and Paul McGuire, beginning with Ahmad Nanook of the North, Rashad.
Thanks, Bob. It is a beautiful day here in Cleveland. The weather's about 15 degrees, but the thing that most of the players are worried about is the wind factor, and there seems to be no wind at this time. Now, as far as injuries goes, you know that Gary Hogan won't play for the Colts, and Bob Golick won't play for the Cleveland Browns, but aside from that, both teams are pretty much at full strength. Field conditions, well, most people in the country think that in the National Football League, they play on 2 types of surfaces, AstroTurf and grass. Well, this is the 3rd type of surface. This is called painted green dirt. Now, I know to you all watching on television, it looks like a freshly manicured lawn, but take my word for it, this is freshly green painted dirt. Now, as far as traction, most of the players will wear some sort of a turf shoe because it's very hard, and cleats, you really can't dig in to get any traction. I've been in front of a locker room the last few weeks. I'm not there today because I realize that the atmosphere in the locker room has nothing to do with the way a team plays out here in the field. That's the good thing about football. Games are won and lost on the field. Has nothing to do with the atmosphere in the locker room. But now, try to tell Paul McGuire that? No, he won't listen. I think he's in there because it's warm. But let's go to Paul, who's outside the Cleveland locker room with Coach Marty Schottenheimer.
Thank you, Ahmad. I tried in the past to talk to players outside the locker room. They keep telling me the same thing. Yeah, we're going to win, and yeah, we can stop this guy, and yeah, we can beat that guy. So what I did is go to the head coach, Marty Schottenheimer. Marty, what about Dickerson? Can you stop Dickerson?
Well, I'm not sure that you can totally stop Eric Dickerson. He's an outstanding player, not unlike a great center in the NBA. Those players tend to get their points, and Eric's going to get his yards. I think, however, the key to it, to whatever success you might have, Paul, would be to get your 11 defenders against their 10 players, and obviously the absence of the quarterback is the one man missing in the offense. We've played against a lot of very good backs. In my mind, this guy is in a class by himself. His speed is the thing I think that poses the greatest concern, because if you give him a little daylight, he can hit that overdrive in one step and be gone. But basically, as we look at it, we've talked all week about working with our 11 against their 10, and that's going to have to be the way we do it.
I talked to Bernie Kosar before the game, and quickly, he said to me, Paul, we've got a much better game plan this time against the Colts, which you played here and lost 9-7.
Well, I think this, Paul, that they did an excellent job in their secondary last time defending us. There was some coverages there that we frankly didn't anticipate, and as a result, we didn't get our routes run maybe the way we'd like to, and we've made some adjustments for this one, and hopefully we can get that done.
Thank you, Marty.
Today for the Browns, Dave Pazzulli, the veteran, fills in for him. However, the Browns can breathe a sigh of relief. They are not without either of their key operatives on the corners, Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield. To get the lowdown on them, we go back to Cleveland, and I like a man who comes prepared. Ahmad Rashad's wardrobe people have provided ample protection against the blustery cold at Cleveland Stadium today. Take it, my man.
Did I say it was a beautiful day for football? It is a beautiful day for football. Not so beautiful to be standing out here on these sidelines, though. Now, you know, the playoffs is a time of pressure. and there's pressure on everybody who's on the football field. But for the cornerback, the pressure never changes. It even escalates during a playoff situation. And if you think about a guy's job where the player that he has to cover knows exactly where he's going, but for the cornerback, the only thing he can do is react. The forward pass is the most exciting play in football. The men who catch these passes are usually the men who get all the glory. The men who defend against the pass very seldom get any recognition at all, unless they're the very best. And the Cleveland Browns have two of the best in the business, Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield. The position of cornerback may be the toughest position on a football field. If it's not the toughest, it's certainly the one with the most pressure. You see, you could be perfect all day, and one slip could cost your team the ball game. Now, not only is this position a tough one with a lot of pressure, it's also a very lonely position.
See the lonely man there on the corner, while he's waiting for I don't know, but he waits every day now. He's just waiting for something to show, and nobody knows him, and nobody cares, 'cause there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place.
Even if you get beat for a touchdown, myself, it doesn't bother me because I know every now and then you're going to get beat for a touchdown. You're going to lose a battle. But the thing about it, you can't lose too many of them, and it can't happen often. And you just have to have a short memory. But I love the excitement of one-on-one with a guy with a Jerry Rice type caliber receiver, and it's like man-to-man, beat me if you can.
I would rather play a guy from Denver or a guy from Houston, a guy that I know has blazing speed, and a guy that I know that can beat me at any time, a guy that I'm going to be psyched up and pumped up as soon as I hit the field, and knowing that Frank Minifield is going to play a tremendous ball game when it's all over with.
Nobody knows him, and nobody cares, 'cause there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place.
In college, I used to have a saying up over my locker. I used to have a saying that said, defensive backs, they dream, they live, and they play alone. And that's the way I feel about it.
I think the worst thing that a corner could do is lose his confidence, and I don't think that'll ever happen to me because I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I think that I have a pretty good defensive back. And see, defensive backs, especially a corner, thrive on pressure and confidence in his position that he can do the job.
He's a lonely man there on the corner. What he's waiting for, I don't know. But he waits every day now, and he's just waiting for something to show. Oh.
Do you go into games wanting them to throw balls against you?
No question about it. That's the only way you can make plays, if they throw balls at you. If you don't want them to throw balls at you, you shouldn't be on the field, especially playing corner.
You know, the more I look at this painted green dirt field, it's going to be a factor. As a matter of fact, Bob, this field is wearing more makeup than Tammy Baker. That was a little pause in case you might want to chuckle.
Yeah.
But no, but you know, as a receiver, it could cause a problem with the defensive backs here because when I played receiver, I like for guys to come up and play me bump and run on a frozen field because if one slip, that bump and run turns into bump and chase. Now, I talked to Frank Minifield, and Frank Minifield says that another thing that's working in their favor, that as you play on this field, it starts to get a little bit sandy, and the receiver has to start chopping his steps to make his cuts. So there'll be no sharp cuts. That works in the defensive back's favor. I'll be keeping my eye on that matchup. Bob?
All right, Ahmad, we'll pause here, give Ahmad a chance to confer with his comedy writers, and when we come back, Paul McGuire will be here with his selection. Browns are favored by about 7.5 wins. Is about to be introduced. Let's go back to the stadium and pick up some of that, after which we'll go to Paul McGuire for his pick.
For the third consecutive year, introducing the offensive lineup for the AFC Central Division champion, Cleveland Browns. At center, number 61, Mike Bell. At left guard, number 70, Larry Williams. At right guard, number 69, Dan Fike. At left tackle, number 74, Paul Barra. The right tackle, number 63, Cody Risa. number 89, Gerald McNeil. At fullback, number 34, Kevin Mack. At running back, number 44, Ernest Weiner. At wide receiver, number 84, Webster Slaughter. At tight end, the all-time leading tight end receiver, number 82, Ozzie Newsome. And at quarterback, number 19, Bernie Kosar. Head coach Marty Schottenheimer and the rest of the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Paul McGuire is standing along the sideline in Cleveland. I don't know if he can hear us amid the din, but let's go to him and get his selection. The Browns by 7.5 or 8. What do you say?
Hey, Bobby, the dogs are howling in the stands, and the dogs on the field, they're another relaxed team. I told you Houston was a week ago. This team is truly relaxed. Said they will not disappoint their fans this year, and I talked to one other guy that assured me. Gerald, the Ice Cube McNeil, said he's going to return one. He didn't say whether it's going to be a punt or a kickoff for a touchdown. So I'm taking Cleveland easily in this ball game.
All right, Paul, our thanks to you and to Ahmad Rashad, Gail Gardner, and Don Shula. Don and Gail will be back with us at halftime, and we'll join Don Criqui and Bob Trumpy for the kickoff and the play-by-play right after these messages. See you at halftime.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, as Dean Biasucci is ready to kick it off.
Don, whatever wind there is, the Colts will have it at their back to begin the football game. It's not a lot of wind. You can see the flag well above the stadium, hanging limp, but on the field, it's at the Indianapolis Colts' back.
Gerald McNeil and Herman Fontenot are back deep now for the Cleveland Browns. There's Biasucci, who was cut by 2 teams. He's done a sensational job. Has been the most effective kicker in the National Football League this season. A short kick. It's picked up by Fontenot, a runner from LSU. He's hemmed in by the special teams play, and Herman Fontenot is cut down at about the 14-yard line. Now looking at the Cleveland Browns in offense, number 19, Bernie Kosar comes out to quarterback them. Ernest Beiner's their leading receiver at a running back. He caught 52. Kevin Mack, their leading rusher. Langhorne and Slaughter, the wide receivers. And the famed Ozzie Newsome at tight end. He's caught more passes than any tight end in National Football League history. Offensive line has been very effective. Big, perhaps underrated, but they take care of Kosar. First down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Opening play from scrimmage. Kosar had his poorest game of the season in the first meeting with Indianapolis. He screens it out, and Kevin Mack takes it straight ahead. And he's out close to the 19-yard line, knocked down by linebacker.
To run the ball some here against this defense. Just to keep that Indianapolis Colt defense honest, Don.
The wind is coming up a bit now as this game is underway. Temperature in the teens, chill factor down around 0. It'll be dropping. Kevin Mack, both arms on the ball, breaks into open field, and Mack crosses the 50. He's inside the 40. Free ball, but he might be ruled down by the field. He was. And the Cleveland Browns break the run up the middle. Eugene Daniel finally made the tackle, but he made it way downfield as the gain on the play is good for 28 yards.
We're going to see this right from behind the defense, Don. This is almost the same blocking scheme they ran on the last third down. A nice trap by Cody Rison, 63, the offensive tackle, on the nose man, and Mack protecting that football. You can see he's down, ball loose, 28-yard pickup. It's exactly what Schottenheimer wanted. First time on the field, his offense. It's Kevin Mack. They need him. He's got to be there for 4 quarters today because the running game will keep the Indianapolis Colts out of a lot of defenses that they like to run. Keep Cooks and also Bickett off of Bernie Kosar. He's limping a little bit, but he's up.
Just had his longest run of the season at 28-yard. Defense very basic, and now they go bringing up extra rushers as 9:12 shows in the first quarter clock. Third down and 9 comes up for Cleveland, the scoreless playoff game. Opening drive, out pattern, timing throw, and down with the ball is Webster Slaughter. He's inside the 15-yard line. Eugene Daniel was covering, but Kosar, a beautiful rhythm passer, released the ball before his receiver made the outbreak, and when he turned the ball was right there.
Well, I don't think people realize how much time and repetition that takes in practice. Now, you're going to be able to see the ball is coming on its way before Webster Slaughter turns his head, Don. You're absolutely right. You can't blame Eugene Daniel for this. There's no way he can cover this. And Eugene Daniel locking on Johnny Cooks. Pass protection there certainly gave Bernie Kosar the time. Big first down pickup.
13th play of the drive coming up now as the Browns have converted 4 third downs to keep it going. Handoff, Mack up the middle. Taken on by linebacker Cliff Odom at the 10-yard line. On a first down run, he is ahead for a game. For the Colts, they've not been to the playoffs in 10 seasons. They have not won a playoff game since 1971. And they beat the Browns here, went on to beat Dallas in the Super Bowl in January of '72. Kosar on 3rd down and 8. Again looking into the end zone. He throws a spike for a touchdown. Ernest Biner out of the backfield and over the middle. And Kosar with that tight spiral right on his numbers at the goal line. And Biner powers in against Nesby Glasgow and Freddie Robinson. And the Cleveland Browns, who scored only 1 touchdown on an opening drive this season, take it downfield, and that offside was huge. When a Colt defender jumped offside on a 3rd down play that turned out to be an incomplete pass, Cleveland would have had a punt. Instead, they got the down over, needed a yard for a first down, got it, and finally take it in.
Biner, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season, but as you mentioned earlier, he's the Browns' leading receiver on the season. What a drive. Started at their own 15. Whoa. That's impressive.
The extra point hit up and good by Matt Barr. Kosar 6 for 9, throwing the ball for 49 yards in the drive, and the touchdown. Here it is.
You see the linebacker coverage on Biner. He goes outside. Bernie reads it perfectly. And Glasgow, who has a bad ankle, but you can't look at the ankle and say that's the problem. Biner powers in for the Browns' first score.
7-0. Bentley in the backfield. Now Dickerson is back in. Eric Dickerson swings out as Trudeau throws a strike down inside the 5. Matt Booza has the ball, and he's down to the 2-yard line. Matt Booza with his 43rd reception of the year for an 18-yard gain. And the Colts answer the touchdown drive of Cleveland, coming right back at him.
Interesting formation run by Indianapolis. You see Dickerson in the backfield. Bentley was set on the wing. Trudeau really comes over the top on this ball, really guns it in there. And you can see 24 Ellis is the man in coverage. Booza makes an outstanding catch with the pressure. He comes from the outside. Nice pattern run. Well thrown. 1st and goal, Indianapolis.
Now it's an I set. Bentley's the deep back. Wansley's the up back. 1st and goal from about 2 yards out. It's Albert Bentley. Oh, the hit put on him as Albert Bentley is knocked back from the 3. Eddie Johnson and Anthony Griggs were on the play. Johnson 51. Who's led the Browns in tackling 3 of his seasons.
And if the Colts have had a problem, they have certainly gotten the ball inside the 20-yard line many, many times this season. Maybe it was 45 times they've gotten the ball inside the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. They've only come up with 20 touchdowns out of that situation. 19 field goals.
Interesting, they're down close, and their money back is not in the game. Bentley and Wansley are the runners. Dickerson's looking on from the sideline. Play fake, throw, touchdown, Pat Beach. So the Colts come right back, and Pat Beach, a big tight end from Washington State, broke the coverage by a very well-executed play fake from his quarterback, who faked to the runner, held the backers, and Beach slipped off wide open, a 2-yard touchdown reception. And now the Colts, 1 point, an extra point from tying this game with 2:16 to play, 1st quarter.
Good play action fake by Wansley and also Jack Trudeau. You see the coverage missing. 51 Eddie Johnson is the closest man. That's a 75-yard drive. We didn't expect this to be a shootout. Both teams score on their first possession of this game.
And Trudeau was sensational. 5 for 5 for 59 yards and a score. He and Kosar both throwing very effectively in the cold here at Cleveland. Extra point by Biasucci is up and good. 2:16 to go in the 1st quarter. It's tied up 7-7. There is Armstrong, who had that offside that kept the Cleveland tough out of bounds all season. So Kosar and the Browns are set to go with their 2nd possession after a 15-play, 86-yard drive.
Don Tim Manoah is in there. Kevin Mack is not. to try to find out if there's something physically wrong with Kevin Mack.
He was shaking up Manoa as a first-year player from Penn State. Big power back. Hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. Has been effective when he's been in there. Good blocker, and he uses it now to take out Cooks as Kosar throws downfield. There'll be a foul call on that play. Webster Slaughter was fouled at the 48-yard line. The defender came over his back. It looked like Eugene Daniel, 38, who got him.
In favor of the Browns at this point in the game, they're 5 of 5 on third downs. The report on Kevin Mack, he is ill on the sideline. And the doctors and the trainers do not know why.
So Mack is out, and on this third down play, the Browns go to 4 wideouts. And to the run they go, and Biner breaks it in. Biner's going to get the first down as he cuts it down to the 37-yard line. Colts totally spread out in pass coverage, and the Browns crossing them up with a play call to the run. Willie Tullis finally made the tackle, but on 3rd and 10, it's good for an 11-yard gain. There is, though, a penalty marker down.
It's against the Colts. That's against Dwayne Pickett. Offense in that 2 years ago, the Browns had Mack and Biner both over 1,000 yards. Last season, they played but 7 quarters together. This year, they've been healthy all the time. Both get their share. Biner the better receiver, Mack the better runner.
Browns over 100 yards offense first quarter. Well balanced, 49 passing, 54 running. Second and a long 5. Kosar finds his man. It's Biner over the middle. He's inside the 20. And Biner thunders on down to the 16-yard line. Ernest Biner, a power back out of East Carolina, 5'10", 215 pounds, who led the Browns with 52 receptions in the regular season. And he has been the target of Kosar's passes, and he's been on the money. You remember the touchdown pass that opened the scoring.
This is a busted coverage. Somebody lost track of Ernest Biner. You'll see him appear in the picture. There's no one around him except the umpire. Biner turns around and is surprised, shocked that no one is there. 16-yard pickup.
The 2 best defenses in the NFL against scoring, and we've not had a punt in almost a full quarter of play. Just before the first quarter ends, the give is to Manoa. On a first down carry, he's close to the 13-yard line. Tackle on the play for the Indianapolis Colts was by John Hand. Coach Meyer wasn't looking for a high-scoring game, but we might have one. Browns have been very tough on third downs. They're 6 of 6 so far in this game, and the most important Cleveland Browns sidelined with apparently an intestinal virus. Kevin Mack, their leading rusher.
They need him, too. This is now second down, but the Browns have been able to move the chains so far in this football game almost at will.
Second and 8, and then on the critical third downs, they've hit every time they've had to the Cleveland Browns. Quick out, goes to Biner, blockers in front. He's inside the 5, or inside the 10, and knocked out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Cut by the Raiders was loading trucks down in Dallas, Texas, when he got a call from the Colts, and he's been one of their best players since.
And we got an eligible receiver wearing number 70, Larry Williams, playing tight end.
3rd and goal. Kosar takes a look. He's going to Derek Tennell. It's intercepted. Freddie Robinson picked off the ball for Indianapolis, and the Colts kill the drive. The intended receiver was a backup tight end, Derek Tennell. In the icy portion of that end zone, he lost his footing cutting out. And Freddie Robinson, a highly regarded first-year player from Alabama, is right on the ball.
You can see Tennell is down. Robinson right there.
Browns have lost 2 starters so far. Kevin Mack sidelined with stomach problems. Tackle Larry Williams out with a badly sprained ankle. It's not expected he'll return. Kosar out pattern. He's got a man. Nicely done by Brian Brennan out to the 41-yard line. Brennan turning back at the ball, catches it a foot off the ground. Feet sliding. Freddie Robinson was defending as best he could. It's a first down. The wind meter in Cleveland is quiet, and that's good. Temperature has dropped, though. It's probably down around 10 degrees now. As the Browns have the ball at the 39-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts, this playoff game is tied 7-7. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Bernie Kosar at quarterback. Looking deep, letting it go long. A man is open, Langhorne, and he has the ball at the 3-yard line. And he's not done till he gets in. Touchdown, Cleveland. 39-yard touchdown pass play. Bernie Kosar to Reggie Langhorne, who is wide open in the middle of the Colt defense.
Excellent formation called by Cleveland. Art Modell, the owner, obviously elated. They put Biner out on the wing. That consumed the free safety, Freddie Robinson. Willie Tullis was covering the wide receiver. No free safety. The deep slant is open, and Kosar puts it right on the money.
Did he? Now Matt Barr out to try the point after. So the Browns make it happen fast. Barr hits it up and good. 1:51 to go in the first half. Cleveland has broken the tie and taken a 14-7 lead.
Brings up 3rd down and 10 now for the Colts.
One thing Dickerson does not do a lot of is catch the ball. He only has 13 receptions in his 8 games as an Indianapolis Colt. Trudeau ready to face an all-out rush on 3rd down and 10. Stands in, lets it go. Man is open. Brooks in open field inside the 25 and down to the 19-yard line. There is a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage, however. Clock stopped with 48 seconds to play. A 28-yard gain on 3rd down and 10 against the best defense in the American Conference.
Mark Harper finally makes the tackle. Offsides defense.
Number 60 of the defense.
Oh, my goodness. It's Baker at the line of scrimmage. Al Baker, the pass rusher.
Bill Brooks with 3 catches today for 45 yards. He had 7 catches for 84 yards a month ago when the Colts won the upset here at Cleveland Stadium. Trudeau fires. Dickerson gets the ball, and he goes in. So Eric Dickerson, they don't go to him often, but they get to him on the payoff end as he got by Clay Matthews, and Dickerson takes the perfectly thrown ball at the 3, spins off, and takes it in. And again, with Biasucci coming out, the Colts are an extra point away from tying the game a second time.
That's his first touchdown receiving as an Indianapolis Colt. You can understand why the Cleveland Browns, not committing a great deal of coverage to Eric Dickerson, but Clay Matthews, their best coverage linebacker, just didn't see the football.
That Trump is the 11th time in 16 games that the Colts have scored in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Extra point by Biasucci, spun up and good. Indianapolis Colts stood tall, twice coming from behind to tie the game. Ron Meyer has to be pleased after 2 quarters of play. It's a 14-14 game. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local 5 passes in the regular season. Did Albert Bentley 2 for touchdowns. Now the Colts on the Brown side of the field, and Dickerson is popped. Shoulder pad high, coming up the middle to get him was Pazzulli. Pazzulli is an aspiring pro wrestler, and he's replacing Bob Golick, who was an All-American wrestler at Notre Dame, as well as an All-American linebacker.
A real wrestling type. Golick was. Real. We're talking real.
2nd down and 11. Trudeau in deep trouble is swept under. Mike Johnson sacks him, and Trudeau slow getting up. First down. Pitch back Eric Dickerson. Reverse and back to Trudeau.
Live ball. Live ball.
Trudeau dumps it off to Bill Brooks, and he's on the run. Big Daddy Hairston can't get him, and Brooks is down to the 30. Looked like something the Marx brothers drew up, but it worked, putting the rush on.
I believe that Donaldson, the center. Let's see if it was on the center.
Holding.
Art
Number
Modell
66
watching.
on the offense. Still 2nd down.
He sees the flag. Takes it back 10 yards. I think it's 2nd and 14. Ron Solt.
Trudeau hot throwing the ball again from 7 in a row now.
This is now the 10th play of the drive, too. I'd look for that Dickerson screen right here. Let's see if they come up with it. It's worked in the past.
Dickerson fastens the chin strap. Trudeau, 6'3", 215 pounds. Big, strong, ready to face the rush, and here it comes from the Browns. Trudeau, wobbly ball, up for grabs. Is it intercepted? It is by the Cleveland Browns. Felix right, comes down with it all, and Cleveland has stopped the Indianapolis drive.
Ball was intended for Matt Bouza. Trudeau shouldn't have thrown it. This ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, but Eddie Johnson is bearing down on him, gets his hand on the ball, it's up for grabs, and Felix Wright comes up with the Cleveland Browns' first interception of the day.
Bitter cold Cleveland Stadium. The Browns have stopped the Colts' long drive. The game still tied 14-14 as Kosar puts it up on first down and makes the connection to Ozzie Newsome. Texan Mike Babb, who played at the University of Texas, down over the ball at center. Browns now with a 1st and 10 play at their 25. Kosar out pattern to Newsome. He's got the ball at the 43-yard line. Again, Indianapolis is unable to defend the rhythm timing pattern of the Cleveland Browns. At an 18-yard turnout, and Kosar right there on the break with the ball to Ozzie.
Look at that.
Colts picked Dwayne Bickett ahead of such all-pro talents as Jerry Rice and Al Toon. Don't regret it. He's been the hub of a fine defense. 3rd and 10 for Kosar. Sidearm throw, and he makes the connection to Brian Brennan for a Cleveland first down at the 45-yard line of Indianapolis. A 12-yard gain on 3rd and 10. Jerry Wright was defending along with Eugene Daniel, but Brennan made the connection.
Both of these football teams in zero weather, hanging onto the football, converting the 3rd downs up and down the field, and only 28 points scored. This is an all-timer to this point.
One turnover each way. 14-14, 3rd quarter as Kosar looks deep again. Long ball to Newsome, and Ozzie Newsome comes down with the ball inside the 25-yard line. And again, the 5-time All-Pro tight end beats the defense, turning out, and Kosar lobs a soft spiral right into his hands.
That's not only Ozzie's 3rd catch of the day, that's his 3rd catch on this.
On his 10th year from Alabama. Love down the field and off here in Cleveland, Ohio. Now has 3 catches for 43 yards, and the Browns in this tie playoff game drive on. Kosar out pattern again. Fontenot drives, and does he have it? He does. The Browns again make the connection on the timing pattern. Kosar again firing before his receiver breaks, and again the ball is right there when he turns.
Don, this is the way it works in practice. This doesn't happen in games. Now watch the way he drags his back foot. Look at that. Oh, man, is that beautiful or is that beautiful? Knowing, sensing where that sideline is, it's not supposed to be this easy.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Cleveland Stadium on an Arctic field, frozen tundra. The Browns have stopped Indianapolis on their opening drive of the 2nd half after a long sustained drive on an interception. And now Cleveland on the excellent passing of Bernie Kosar, primarily to tight end Ozzie Newsome, and the Browns are down challenging to go ahead for a 3rd time in the game.
We show Haley because he's an eligible receiver.
It's 14-14. Browns led 7-0, then 14-7. Colts have never led in this game. Handoff Feiner, and he didn't get there. Yes, he did. A second push. Got him in as the linesman comes in. Arms raised. And there is a touchdown call for the Cleveland Browns. And again, they've taken the lead. This for a 3rd time.
I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't know that I've ever seen a game that has had longer drives than this one. That's a 13-play, 86-yard drive. Exactly the way the Cleveland Browns started the game. A 15-play, 86-yard drive. Great block by Manoa up front. Ernest Biner on 2nd effort gets in the end zone. Had the ball almost 6 minutes. There's 1:56 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Matt Barr puts the extra point up and good. So the Cleveland Browns score first in the 2nd half, and they take a 21-14 lead.
Eddie Johnson came up with the interception. That started the Cleveland Browns' first drive of the 2nd half. He put the pressure on, caused the sack, or the interception, and result.
We talked to field position at the outset, Trump, and how important it was to both teams, and yet when the Browns had to go the long field, they've done it 3 times.
Remarkable. I mean, in 70-degree weather, perfect conditions, those are remarkable numbers.
We've got chill factors below 0 in Cleveland now as the Browns with a 1st and 10 at the Indianapolis 49-yard line. Opening play of the 4th quarter, 21-14 Cleveland. Heiner takes on tacklers and just bangs his way down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 9 yards on the play. Tackle made by the free safety, Freddie Robinson.
1964.
The president of the Browns, intent, as you would expect on this big day in Cleveland with over 80,000 jamming his ball yard. Browns trying to come back from that bitter disappointment of a year ago as Newsom is open inside the 20-yard line. Down to the 15, and again it's the down and out timing pattern with Kosar releasing the ball before his receiver makes the break. This one good for 22 yards, and the Browns challenge again.
And again, it's linebacker coverage on Newsom. This time, middle linebacker Cliff Odom. Kosar puts it right on the money. You can see 93 trying to catch up with Ozzie Newsom. I like that, too. They throw the ball to Newsom. He drops one. Says, give me another chance. Next play, right back to him. 4 huge catches for Ozzie Newsom in his second half today.
The Browns looking to go to the American Conference Championship game for a 2nd straight year. They'll meet, if they win this, the victor of the Denver-Houston game tomorrow, which you'll see on NBC Sports. Right now on 1st down, the handoff goes to Biner. Running with a vengeance, he takes the ball down to the 11-yard line. Tackled by the middle of the Indianapolis defense off the bottom of the pile is Donnell George Hill. Calling out the defenses as now the Browns string out the Indianapolis defenders. 4 wideouts in the game. 3rd and 2 for the 1st down. 3rd and 5 for the touchdown. Kosar dumps it off. Biner has it. And he is knocked down at the 5. Didn't appear to get the 1st down. We'll see.
Cody Risen, the offensive tackle out there to try to help out, but a great job by defensive back Mike Pryor to get in Ernest Biner's way. They're going to send on Matt Barr for a field goal. Once again, Art Modell sitting on the edge of his seat. Almost. 4th down in inches. I agree with this call. Take the 3 points. It allows your team some breathing room.
The Commissioner of the National Football League, Pete Rozelle, is here today. Pete positioned in an end zone box.
Any seat in this place is good today.
Kerry. Barr drills the field goal, and the Browns extend their lead now to 24-14. They held off the touchdown drive, but the Colts must come back from the most valuable player honors, Ernest Biner. His workload increased when his running mate in the backfield, Kevin Mack, went out with stomach virus early in the game. Short. Back to Biner in open field. Ernest Biner's in a foot race. He loses the ball. A Brown has a play on it, and a Cleveland Brown has the ball at the 6-yard line. So it's all breaking right for Cleveland as Herman Fontenot, following the play, alertly pounces on the fumble, and the Browns get still more yards, and they'll have it 1st and goal with 6:15 to play.
Colts had the right idea once Biner broke through the line of scrimmage. You'll see the tackler, Eugene Daniel, Pryor, 39. All he's trying to do is knock that ball away. Fontenot does a great job of knocking 42 out of the way. Willie Tullison picking up the ball. Great job blocking up front by the Cleveland Browns offensive line. There's Pryor knocking the ball away. Watch the block by Fontenot. Pushes Tullis out of the way and makes the recovery.
And who might shoot first. Now the scoring went. Then the Browns on the long reception by Langhorne. You remember when he got up and fought his way in. The 14-7 lead. Dickerson on the touchdown catch and in close. And in the 3rd quarter, Biner powered in from 2 yards out, and Cleveland had a 7-point lead for a 3rd time in the game. And the field goal by Matt Barr, and that's all the scoring so far. These two teams have given up over the course of the regular season fewer points than any two teams in the National Football. Kosar putting up some big numbers. He's thrown the ball, as you see, 30 times for 227 yards, the 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. He set a National Football League playoff record when he passed for almost 480 yards against the Jets in that overtime win here a year ago.
The thing about Bernie Kosar, too, is he very seldom has 2 bad games in a row against the same opponent. A very poor game against Indianapolis this week. He was watching film at 9 o'clock at night preparing for the Colts.
They're down and go. He might play fake to Biner here and look for one of those 4 wide receivers running zigzags in the end zone. Downfield throw. And it's a touchdown for Cleveland as Brian Brennan beat the coverage, and Kosar was perfect with that lob throw, and the Cleveland Browns are going to the American Conference Championship game again. Extended their lead to 30-14, and it's over. It's been a great year for the Indianapolis Colts, a fine season, but 1 playoff game is it. And still, they have to go back to 1971 to the Colt franchise to look to their last playoff game winner.
On the man in coverage, Terry Wright never had a chance. Never had a chance. He doesn't see this ball thrown. Bernie almost puts it underneath Terry Wright's arm. In the end zone does not really run a pattern. He just releases up the field, and Marty Schottenheimer and Lindy and Fonnie and the Cleveland Browns sideline. It was certainly in doubt at halftime that they have taken over control of.
Now the most valuable player, sponsored by Budweiser, and today's MVP is number 44 from the Cleveland Browns, Ernest Biner. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of today's MVP. Ernest Biner had some day. 23 carries for 122 yards. 1 touchdown.
The division championship 3 years in a row.
Trudeau throwing against a blitz. He's got a man down to the 2-yard line. Walter Murray turned back upfield, makes his first catch of the day, good for 24 yards. With 1:46 to go, the Colts trying to get close. Murray didn't, unlike his counterpart, Langhorne of Cleveland, who got up and ran it in, was stopped before he could do it. Bentley is the setback. Dickerson out. Trudeau takes it. No sign.
Well, he's short of the touchdown. Back to the line of scrimmage. We try it again.
That's the game clock winding down. 1:18 to play. Bentley is the setback. Could be going right. Bentley over the top. He got it. Touchdown. Indianapolis with 1:07 to play. And it's a 31-20 game. See statistician Elliot Calvin helping the booth from John Betchkill and Pete Halbin. So we're down to 1:07 to go, and Art Modell waving to it.
Touched it early, so they get another chance at the onside kick. It must go 10 yards before any member of the kicking team can touch the football. They'll try it again, probably the same spot. I think they got it.
That'll work.
I think
Greg Swope had the ball.
It looked like
26.
It looked like Cleveland. Wait a minute.
You might have a replay.
Well, he just drew a flag, so I don't think they can go with a replay.
Short free kick. The second short free kick belongs to the receiver. First down.
Yes, but I don't know that that's right. I think the Cleveland player let it go, and you'll see the Indianapolis Colts player catch it with 1 foot on either side of the line. Whoa. I'll tell you what, you could look at that forever and wonder whether that's true or not. The guy who comes up with the ball is Craig Swope. Line, and a receiver has 1 foot inbounds and 1 foot out of bounds. That's no reception. Okay?
That's right.
Now, across the line, I think the same applies.
Based on review by the replay official, the ball was not ruled to have been touched until it went after 10 yards. It was recovered by Indianapolis. First down and 10.
Well, that's what they... I'm surprised. I am very, very surprised. It looks like that right foot was back over the 40. And if you make a reception on the sideline, it doesn't count unless both feet are in bounds. I think if you make a reception on an onside kick, it doesn't count unless both feet are on the right side of the 40-yard line.
But still, the dilemma, Trump, for the Indianapolis Colts, as we can observe clearly, is that they're 59 yards from the Cleveland end zone and need 2 scores. Touchdown on the field goal just to tie it, and that's not going to much happen there. Al Baker comes in and sacks Hogaboom. Pardon, Trudeau. Hogaboom is hit. So Salisbury sets his team, makes sure everybody's on the same page as he's going to let it rip long. Wide out to the right, one to the left. Here comes the rush, a 4-man rush. Hard throw, it's intercepted. Picked up by Minifield, and the Cleveland Browns could get another one as Minifield takes it inside the 10, the 5, and fights in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Took a beating in this one. It was expected to be a low-scoring game, and the Browns have now put up 37 points.
For Minifield, his first interception return for a touchdown of the season. He'll keep that football. A 48-yard interception return, and it's gotten out of hand.
37-21 Cleveland, with the 38th point on the way off the foot of Matt Farr, up and good. 39 seconds to play, and the Cleveland Browns will kick it up.
Here's the Pro Bowl selections for the Browns. They'll all go, but Golick.
Browns led the league in Pro Bowl selections with 7. Salisbury to Albert Bentley. Down to 1 second to play. Then do NFL Live, and tomorrow it's to Denver for the Oilers and the Broncos on NBC Sports. The winner to meet the Browns for the right to go to San Diego and Super Bowl 22.
They were 98 yards from that last year. They won another chance. Eric Dickerson does have the ice off his wrist. Certainly hope that he's all right. Appears to be moving his hand around. Chip Myers, receiver coach, walking in front of him.
Incomplete pass, and that will do it. As the Browns, heavily favored, win by a big margin. Challenged most of the way. They open it up in the second half. A playoff season for Ron Meyer, and his first full season as head coach of Indianapolis. And for Marty Schottenheimer, 3 years, 3 full seasons as head coach, 3 divisional championships, and for a second straight year, his Browns go to the American Conference title game.
And a tip of the cap to Ernest Biner. Had a whale of a game. 122 yards rushing, a touchdown receiving. He carried the load when Kevin Mack turned up ill in the first quarter of the game.
Bernie Kosar, who wanted to redeem himself from his off-showing in the first meeting, he played superbly again. 38-21 is the score.
Browns move on with this divisional playoff victory. Let's go to their locker room. Ahmad Rashad is there with 2 of today's heroes. Ahmad?
All right, Bobby, here in the Cleveland Browns locker, a happy Cleveland Browns locker room, where they take another step to your goal to win the championship. Bernie, you know, it was like two different games. The first half, you were a little bit off with the timing of your receivers, but the second half, you came on strong.
Yeah, it took us a while to get adjusted out there, and they have an excellent defense, and we thank the Lord for the gifts he gave us out there today, but quite frankly, we expected to go out there and play good and win the game today, and we're not satisfied with just this game. We got a couple steps ahead of us left.
Well, a nice business-like attitude, because in the third quarter, you guys really turned it on.
Yeah, we needed to. They had a nice drive to start out the third quarter. Our defense came up with a big play, and then I thought it was time for the offense to take over and make some big plays.
What about this pass here for the touchdown?
Well, we were going to run the ball and just try to keep the clock moving, but they came up in a blitz look, and they bump and run the receivers, and Brian did a good job of beating them at the line.
And the pass was right on the money, I might add. Now, the workhorse on this football team today, Kevin Mack goes out, and you end up being the workhorse. How do you feel?
Well, I feel pretty good about it. You know, I usually don't have the opportunity to run the ball like that in this offense. My role is to do a little bit more blocking to catch more passes. But when I get that opportunity, I like to take advantage of it.
It seemed to me as the game went on, you started to wear that defensive down. Run started to break open for you.
That's true. The offensive line started really matching. They have been rushing BK all day, so I'm sure they were a little tired. And when they get in that situation, we like to really match on them.
You got a little help from Herman Fontenot on that one long run where you fumbled.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad Herman was in the area there. On that particular play, we had talked about being a championship football team before that, and we really needed that one.
Now, here's the play where you broke open for it. Here, you thought you were going to go all the way here, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt pretty good right there. Then I got sort of raggedy. My feet started going in different directions, and the guy came in and made a good play.
Well, you must have, the last time you guys played the Colts, you had a fumble on that 4-yard line. Yeah. Was that going through your mind today?
Well, last week it was. I tried not to let that, discourage me or anything. It would have distracted me, so I just went out today, tried to relax and play good ball.
All right, congratulations to you. And like I say, the Browns are not just happy with this one. Their goal is to go to the Super Bowl. Let's go back to you, Bob.
Get well soon, Mom.
Try to prep for that, Jerry. Okay. That's coming up tomorrow, so we'll see. I'll tell you what, it's all on go. Good evening, everybody. The rematch, it's set and waiting to explode in 6 days. Cleveland Browns and Denver Broncos for an AFC title and Super Bowl appearance, both with impressive wins over the weekend. Let me take you to Saturday. Browns rattled Indy 38-21 for Marty Schottenheimer. Watch the explosiveness of Bernie Kosar and Reggie Langhorne. Tremendous sprawling grab for 6. Reggie's in the end zone. I'll tell you what, the high fives were special, too. Look at this with Webster Slaughter. He knocks Webster down. Browns defense checked Eric Dickerson and friends, and the talk post-game as I visited the Browns was Super Bowl.
That's still our goal, hey, we're in this just for that, and we feel confident that we're going to be there, and we got one more game to go, and then we get here all day.
Maybe we'll have an upset in Houston, in Denver. Maybe Houston would upset them, and we'll have to play the last game here, but it doesn't matter. Whoever's on the other side of our bench has got to be eliminated for us to go to the Super Bowl.
Got to be eliminated. I wonder if the Denver Broncos heard the Hanford-Dixon words. John Elway and the Orange Crush drilled Houston 34-10. They're waiting for the Browns. Now, here's a question. Can the Browns contain the elusive and magical John Elway? I don't know. He accounted for 3 TDs yesterday. Outstanding pitch and catch with glue-fingered Clarence K right there. Browns' offensive game, the Broncos' offensive game, rather, was superb, as Clarence K attested to. Following the 24th
we felt that we could go out and play our kind of football and outside the ball, and we could probably dictate this game. And I think from what I saw on defense, we control the line of scrimmage up front.
All hope will be a Cleveland Browns AFC Championship game win over Denver on Sunday. Sports photographer Ed Domanski put his pictures and some howling Brown sound together to get you in a bit more of the mood.
Here we go, Brownies, here we go. All along the lake, you can hear them howl. East side, west side, the dogs are on the prowl. We don't have to shovel to the Super Bowl. This team can boogie, we can rock and roll. Here we go, Brownies, here we go.
Wing, wide receivers left and right. Kosar being blitzed, fires. Brennan got the ball, breaks away at the 10, 5, touchdown Browns. Ryan Brennan does it again.
Outstanding second effort from Ryan Brennan.
Browns football team this season has led to Browns mania in Toledo. We saw some of that earlier. Well, Michael Mota tonight tells us that Browns mania means different things for the many Browns fans in our area.
For Gary Schnack, Browns mania is fixing up the house in Browns colors and in getting ready for a doggone party Sunday afternoon during the game.
The Browns are a team that I think everyone can identify with. They're a hard-working team. Everyone does their individual thing, and there's no superstar on the team, and I think the fans really like that.
I'm not any one particular, but if I had to pick, I'd pick the Browns, just by association.
At the Southwick shop, where there's lots of sports stuff, Browns mania is sweatshirts, T-shirts, buttons, bumper stickers, backboards, trash cans, slippers, glasses, coffee cups, posters, pictures, teddy bears, and video cassette.
Right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're welcome.
Sweatshirts will sell best. We have jackets. Those sell really well, really well. Then we also have the white sweatshirts. T-shirts sell well. We're sold out.
And I met most all the players down there at Cedar Point. It was real nice meeting them, too.
This is the second big year in a while for the Browns. Last year, they just lost the conference championship.
Mania means you can buy just about any kind of stuff, but you have to make the playoffs. Michael Moda, 13 News.
Go Browns, go Browns.